heartfulness. We have with us today's resource person, Mr. Sulabh Mishra. We welcome you in this virtual platform. We have with us today's experts, CA Dr. Pradeep Gupta and Mr. Deepak Khanduri, who are always with us to guide and mentor in this program series. We also put it forward that we are conducting the daily virtual program on work-life balance from Monday to Friday at 8:30 p.m. and weekend virtual program on work-life balance at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. We are requesting you all to join this program and get the benefit of these programs. I am handing over the session to Mr. Deepak Khanduri to introduce our today's resource person, Mr. Sulabh Mishra, and thereafter handing over the session to Mr. Sulabh Mishra for further proceeding. Over to Mr. Deepak Khanduri. Unmute, Mr. Deepak Khanduri, unmute.
Yeah, good evening all. Mr. Sulabh Mishra has been a dedicated heartfulness meditation trainer since 2010 and has been practicing meditation since 1999. His deep commitment to heartfulness and personal development is reflected in his entrepreneurial endeavors and professional achievements. As an entrepreneur, Sulabh founded and has been running Brighter Minds since 2017, a cognitive development program designed for children and seniors. In his role as a cognitive coach, he addresses a significant gap in the academic field by incorporating tools and exercises that promote social, emotional, and ethical learning alongside training the heart to harness intuition. In addition to his work with Brighter Minds, Sulabh is the founder and chairman of several paramedical institutes, further showcasing his dedication to education and healthcare. Before embarking on his entrepreneurial journey, Sulabh gained extensive experience in the IT sector, where he managed IT projects for healthcare clients. His diverse background and holistic approach to cognitive and emotional development make him a distinguished leader in his field. Over to Mr. Sulabh Mishra.
Thank you, Deepak ji. Thanks for introducing me, and hello to everyone. We will start right away. But in heartfulness, before we start any meeting, we do something what we call centering. So I'm going to teach you how we do this centering to bring our awareness in this present moment. Let's do it along with me. So close your eyes. With your closed eyes, try to connect with your heart. Just see what emotions are there in your heart. Let them bubble up. While you are connected to your heart, if you have meditated today in the morning and you had acquired certain condition, try to recall that condition. See if you can intensify that condition. When you are ready, you can slowly and gently open your eyes. We will ensure that we maintain this condition with the heart. Let's try to stay connected. Today we are going to take a topic that is very dear to me, and it is applicable in all spheres of life, whether it is work life or family life, and this topic is communication. So I want to showcase today how heartfulness tools help us in our communication. But before we get there, we need to understand how the neuroscience of our how basically neuroscience works. So to elaborate that, let me start with a story of all of us. Our story was all the same when we were in our mother's womb. So let's see what happened when we were in our mother's womb. When we were there, none of us were hungry, none of us were thirsty, and we never felt any kind of any problem. We never had any temperature variation. We were all very cozy and comfortable. Right? Now, while this was happening for 9 months, we were all comfortable, properly fed all the time, taken care of. One more thing was happening at the same time. We were listening to the heartbeat of our mother. Okay? We were also listening to all this blood pulsing through our veins, and there was some kind of vibration that was generated. So we were hearing these vibrations, we were feeling these vibrations continuously. And as this brain was developing, it formed an association with this comfort, with this having the sense of satisfaction that we are well fed, with this vibration. And these vibrations were very rhythmic. Our heart beats very rhythmically. And the blood that is flowing through our veins, it's also very rhythmic in nature. Right? When we are breathing also, that's also more or less rhythmic only. So our brain formed this association that wherever there is rhythm, there is safety. So this is a very fundamental connection that we have formed in our brain. Okay, let's go a little bit further. When we came in this world, we are the only species who take a lot of time in getting up on our feet. So mostly we are dependent on our parents. So if our diaper also gets dirty, we will cry. A loving figure will come, a smiling face will come. They will change our diaper, and we don't know what happened, but now we are comfortable. If we are hungry, again we will cry, and mother will come feed us, and now again we are satisfied, well fed. So again, this brain is further strengthening this connection with the face of the caregiver. And usually these caregivers will be very smiling when they are changing our diapers or feeding us. So again, we are forming this connection. This happy face or this caregiver means I am safe. I am well taken care of. Okay. So this is one of the most basic, most fundamental neural connection that we all have in our brain. Okay. So let's now look at how this connection is harnessed in heartfulness practices, in some of the tools that we teach. But I will also like to go in a little bit more detail of the neuroscience of how the brain itself has evolved over a period of time. Now, this is something that I just not told you evolves in our mother's womb, right? But over the millennia, how the evolution has taken place. Let's take a look at this. Let me share my screen. Okay. So if you look at the most lower part of this diagram, here you have what we call brain stem. This is the most basic part of our brain. This evolved nearly 400 million years ago. Okay, and this is also known as reptilian brain. It has a very basic function. It takes care of our respiration, our temperature, our cardiac function. That's it. Not much is done here. Around 40 million years ago, our brain further evolved, and what we got was, which we call today as limbic brain. Now, this emotional brain or limbic brain takes care of the reward, the memory, bonding, emotions, Our threat response center is here. Our memory storage is also in this part of the brain. So all these things are happening in this emotional brain. Okay. As we further evolved around 4 million years ago, a new layer of the brain developed, which we today call as cortex, or which is the smart part of our brain. Through this brain, through this smart brain, we have our creativity, we do our thinking, language, values, we understand time, we have meaning associated, hope associated with it. So all this is happening in the smart part of the brain. Even decision making is done here. You see this front part of your brain, forehead? This is where you have prefrontal cortex. It's also the executive part of the brain. This is where all the decision making happens. Okay. Now, when we are communicating with this outside world, or if something has to be communicated from our inside world, the communication is very sequential. Okay. So if I get some input, and first it will go to the brain stem. From there, it will go to emotional brain, and then it will be further processed in the smart brain. This is how the sequence is. This sequence never changes. Okay. Now, suppose you have a threat. You got some cue that there is a threat in your environment. So, brain stem has one particular cell, locus ceruleus. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to bang my floor, but still I'm going to activate your locus ceruleus. Just watch what happens to your state. I'm going to bang my table. I've told you, but still see what is going to happen inside you. You got a sudden aliveness. What is happening? Why did Sulabh bang this table, right? This was locus ceruleus getting alert and relaying the information to the threat response center of our brain. Now, threat response center recognize that Sulabh is just demonstrating something, so there is no need to worry. So you don't have to do anything particular about it. But suppose the cue is that there is a snake in the room, in your room. Okay, not in my room, your room. Again, your senses or sensory input have given this information to you. Brain stem passes into the limbic brain. Locus ceruleus will spray the entire brain with threat response hormones like cortisol and all. This threat response center will say, okay, there is a danger, real danger. I have to either fight or I have to run away. Now, if this threat is really there, that snake is really there in your room, tell me which one of you will say that, let's see, let me have some creative way of today escaping my life. I'm going to come up with a new way to save my life. Will any one of you do that? I guess nobody will do that. And the science dictates that actually you will not be able to do that. Why? Because this emotional brain will shut down your thinking capacity. Your decision making is shut down. Your smart brain is no longer open for business. Just see what scientists have come up with a percentage when these kind of dysregulation happens. Okay, normally when we are well regulated, well fed, our environment is all safe. So brain stem doesn't have much to do. So it is taking care of our breathing, cardiac function, all that. Emotional brain is also working properly. 90% of this emotional brain we are able to utilize properly. Same with smart brain. We are able to use this 85% of our smart brain as it is supposed to be used. But what happens when we are slightly dysregulated? Slightly. I am talking about we have not got our lunch on time. We have delayed due to some reason, our lunch is delayed today. So we are dysregulated. And the science says our utilization of the smart brain drops down from 80% to 10%. See the drop here. It's a huge drop. Emotional brain has also dropped to 60%. Brainstem has increased the working because it is scanning the environment, figuring out what to do. So here the percentage has increased. But what happens when we are very highly dysregulated? Meaning there is really a threat, there is some looming deadline, and we are wondering whether we will be able to save our job or not, or very stressful situation. In those situations, we are only having access to 5% of our smart brain, 30% of our emotional brain. Most of the thing is happening in the brain stem. Okay. Let's see how all of this comes together when we are communicating now. Suppose I am communicating with a child. I am an adult, and let's say person 2 is a child. And I have a very good reason to teach my child maths today. So I tell him or her, let's do maths today. But at the same time, I'm thinking this from my smart brain, right? That today I will teach maths to my child. But at the same time, today I had a very rough day in my office, in my workplace, and there's a lot of things going on, lot of emotional chaos is there. So when this smart brain gave this thought, let's teach maths, and it came down to the emotional brain, my emotion got laced with this, what I said with my mouth. Okay. And now the communication experts tell us that our facial expression conveys 55% of what we say. Tone of voice is 38%, and words are mere 7%. So even though I'm saying let's do maths today, my facial expression is telling that I'm tensed. My tone of voice is saying that I am stressed out. I am a little irritated. Now this information will first go to the brain stem. Child will perceive this as a threat. Daddy is not in a good mood. I can get scolded. I can get beaten up, or whatever my past experience is with the child, right? So his or her emotional brain will get alert that something is not right. Daddy doesn't speak like this usually. So you are trying to say, let's do maths, maths, maths. Child is stuck in the emotional brain. Why daddy is speaking like this? What happened to him? Why he is in this mood? Why he's not speaking nicely? Why he's not speaking sweetly? So you are trying to appeal to the smart brain of the child. You are trying to ensure that the smart brain does all this logic that is involved in the maths. But poor child is still stuck in the emotional brain. He's not able to access his own smart brain. So how will he learn maths? How is this going to be happening? So do you see this flow? This is a very sequential flow that is happening. And you cannot jump. You cannot say, my smart brain is going to reason with the smart brain of my child, and I will communicate whatever I have to tell, or I will teach maths. This whole thing will definitely happen. Nobody can escape it. Okay. So what is the solution here in this case? I am irritated. I want to teach maths. So this is one scenario. Suppose I am all calm, but the child is irritated, upset, or some reason is not in a mood to study. So what do we do in that case? We will have to follow a very sequential approach. Let me show you what that sequential approach is. The sequential approach that we all need to apply is, first we need to self-regulate ourselves. When I say self-regulate, I'm talking about returning to this calm, peaceful condition. that we are all aspiring through this meditation program that you are going through. Okay. Once we have regulated ourselves, then only we can hope or we can try to or even help others to regulate. And when this other, whoever is this other, may be it spouse, your colleague, your workplace, whoever you are working with, your client, you have to somehow regulate so that you can reason with them. Now, this communication will flow from you to this other person, right? So there has to be this medium, and this medium is connecting us. Meaning, in a nutshell, there has to be a connection between me and this other person. So we need to somehow also connect with this person. Okay, so whenever we communicate, we should have this intention to connect so that whatever we want to convey can be done effectively. Once these three steps are in place, then you can reason with this other person. And we have a very beautiful program called Heartful Communication. This is going to be beyond the scope of today's topic, but I highly recommend that you all go through our Heartful Communication program. It's available online for free. So highly recommended. But for now, we will keep moving on. So let's see the skills that heartfulness is offering us to self-regulate, allow others to regulate, and have how we can connect with others. Okay. So when we did this self-regulate today, we already did when we sat down in the beginning of the session, we centered ourselves. That is one very effective way to actually connect with ourselves first, connect with our highest self. So when I'm talking about self-regulating, I'm also talking about connecting with myself. Okay. So how we do it? We adjust our inner state by recalling the meditative state that we had acquired during our morning meditation. So obviously you cannot recall something which you never had. So first requirement is that you should meditate in the morning so that you can recall that condition. And when you recall this condition, you can definitely get some of it at this minute. But suppose you have totally lost it and you are not able to even recall and regain that condition. Then we have a very beautiful technique called cleaning. Now, cleaning is usually done in the evening for 30 minutes or 20 minutes, but you are in your workplace or you don't have that much time. So what we recommend is you do your spot cleaning. Just 30 seconds, 1 minute of spot cleaning can remove all the emotional turbulences, emotional overflows that you are experiencing at that moment. You can just compress the whole technique into 30 seconds. For example, let's do it right away. Let's do it for 2 minutes or 1 minute. Okay. So how we will do it? We will close our eyes. We will give a suggestion to ourselves that all the complexities, impurities that have formed during the day or due to this event, whatever has happened, these complexities and impurities are melting and going towards my back. And now imagine all these complexities and impurities are leaving your system from the back in the form of smoke. Now make another suggestion that a secret current is coming from above. It is entering my heart from the front and it is pushing away all the remaining complexities and impurities from the back. As the heaviness go away, Feel the lightness in you. As the turbulence go away, feel the settledness in you. Feel the simplicity returning. Feel the purity. Feel the purity of your heart. Imagine this sacred current present in your heart is now oozing out from your heart and spreading in your entire body. And wherever it is going, it is purifying that part of the body. It is reaching out to all the corners, all the cells of your body, and each and every corner of your body is becoming purer, simpler, more sacred. It didn't take much. We were able to remove these emotional turbulences, regain some of our balance back, and at the same time, we have again centered ourselves, right? So deepen your awareness of this inner condition that you have. So all these techniques you can use to self-regulate yourself first. Heartfulness relaxation also we have done in these sessions. It's a very powerful technique, which you can use to calm down, relax yourself. And it can be even done together. When you see that the other person is is unregulated, we can suggest let's do relaxation together. Then we will start with the meeting, isn't it? So this is about self-regulation. Now comes regulating others. So there are again a lot of techniques that you can suggest because that person may not be aware that they are unregulated and child is not aware maybe. So we can teach them few very simple skills that can help them get regulated. Now here there is another concept also in play, which is let me elaborate on that. What is also in play? See, whenever we are dysregulated, whenever we are stressed, whenever we are facing anxiety or fear or whatever, our body is also responding to that. Why? Our body uses a nerve called vagus nerve. This vagus nerve is like a vagabond. It's spread all across our body. It's connected to our eyes, connected to our mouth, our throat. Everywhere it is connected. It's going all the way, even in our gut. So if we can somehow reset this vagus nerve, it will allow our rest and digest system to take over. Rest and digest system is that part of the nervous system which helps us to calm down, to stay relaxed. Okay. So we need to somehow reset this vagus nerve. So some simple techniques that we can use to reset vagus nerve is left nostril breathing. Very effective left nostril breathing. It reduces our anxiety. So how you do that? We can all do it together. Just 10 times we will do it. Close your right nostril with your thumb. Okay. Close your right nostril with your thumb and simply breathe in and breathe out. When you breathe out, take more time to breathe out. It's when we are breathing out that our heart slows down. Okay. So we need to take more time to breathe out. Okay. So let's do this 10 times. See, this our left nostril is actually connected with our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest system. So we are actively using only left nostril. So this is in a way giving a push start to this rest and digest system. So this is one which you can use, and it can be used as an emergency tool for if you are having a panic attack, because it's very effective in anxiety situations. Now, other one is Bhramri. Bhramri or any other breathing technique which you know, which where the instruction is that you should breathe out slowly. You should take more time to breathe out. Those breathing exercises can be done in the evening. Why? Because in the evening, our body is actually designed in such a way that our rest and digest system should get activated. Even the lifestyle today is such that it doesn't get activated, but we can forcefully activate, and it will be okay if we forcefully activate rest and digest system by using some of these breathing techniques like Anulom, Vilom, Bhramri. If you know that, use it. If you don't know, you can go to YouTube and learn about these techniques. They're very effective techniques. We teach them in our heartfulness yoga classes also. And something which we teach to our children in our Brighter Minds program is what we call brain exercise. Now, this brain exercise, what it does is it connects our left brain and our right brain. So the communication between the left brain and right brain also improves because of all this new neural connections that are forming when we do these brain exercises. I will give you just one or two brain exercises. It will also break the monotony of what the way I have been speaking so far. So let's do this brain exercises together. Okay. What you need to do is with your one hand, raise your two fingers, your first finger and your middle finger. So you are making a victory sign. Okay. Now with your other hand, you need to raise your middle finger and your ring finger. Okay. Now what you have to do is you have to switch like this. So now with the other hand, I am raising my middle finger and my ring finger, and with my other hand, it is first and middle. So you keep switching. So you practice this, it will improve the communication between your left brain and right brain. Why? Because this is forcing your brain to form new neural connections so that it can coordinate this activity which is happening simultaneously, right? Simultaneously, my left brain is giving the signal to my right hand, do this. At the same time, my right brain is giving signal to my left hand, do this. So when we are doing the same thing together, more neural connections have to be formed. Let's take another look at another exercise. You have to touch your nose with one hand, and you have to touch your ears with the other hand. And whichever hand is touching your ears should come from outside. Okay, then you touch your knees and switch. So follow the rule. Your hand touching your ears should always be out. When you switch, you change the ears, but follow the rule. So these exercises give exercise to our brain, relax us. Okay, so these are few things that you can do to actually calm yourself as well as calm the other person also down. Walk is another one very effective technique. Just go for a walk first. Okay, so let me get back to the slides again. Okay, the last technique that we can use to help others calm down is positive and silent suggestions for their well-being, to suggesting that they may calm down, they may get regulated, they may get relaxed. So positive and silent suggestion, prayerful suggestions also help. Okay. So now we will just go through this last part of our topic, which is the intention to connect. Whenever we are communicating, remember our intention should be to connect. Give priority of connection with, especially with your loved ones. But it applies even in a very deep conflict situations also. If the intention is to connect, lot of conflicts can be resolved, and this is proven by non-violent communication movement. It is a book. The title of the book is also non-violent communication. This book and the process given in this book is successfully used in several conflict situations across the world. We have made it more dynamic by including some of the heartful principles. So, at least for me, this nonviolent communication process became alive when I started implementing heartfulness techniques also. So, again, I will repeat that heartful communication is a highly recommended program that you all should go through. It's free of cost. So, whenever we are communicating with others, these are some pointers that we can remember. Listen to make them feel safe, empathize with them. Again, make sure that when you are listening, you are connected with your heart, as we have repeatedly said, right? We listen without interrupting until the other person is finished. Even if the idea is coming up, we still take note of it, but we continue to listen and let the other person complete themselves. And choose to respond by taking pause. Avoid reacting. Okay, we avoid any accusation or an attitude of dismissing or disqualifying the point of view of others, because these work as a circuit breakers. Instead of connecting, they will break the circuit of this connection. Okay, so avoid accusation, dismissing, or disqualifying. And last one, we request a moment of silent remembrance or adjustment if the discussion is deviating from the topic which was at hand. So we can always ask the group or the other person to pause, take a pause. Let's readjust ourselves. Let's remind ourselves why we are having this communication. Okay, so this is the flow that we recommend you have when you want to have a heartful engagement with other person. First, self-regulate yourself, then help the other person regulate, connect with them, and then finally, then only you reason with them. But never start here, okay? So, at the basics of all of this is regulation. Now, when we spoke about regulation, we spoke about recalling the condition. And how do we get this condition? We cannot get this condition without meditating. So let's all meditate for the remainder of the time, and then we will have some question answers at the end when we have time. Okay. So let's start meditation now. I hope all of you remember how we meditate. Those of you who are joining for the first time, simply close your eyes without moving your lips. Make a very gentle suggestion to yourself that the source of divine light is already present in my heart. Imagine this light is pulling your attention within. We'll meditate on this idea. So please start meditate. That's all. As you conclude your meditation, keep your eyes closed so that you can spend 1 or 2 more minutes to recognize what you have got from your meditation. Recognize the condition that you have acquired with this meditation, which means, what am I feeling right now? What state I am in? Is it a state of peacefulness? Is it a relaxed state? Is it a state of stillness? What is it? Recognize it so that you can hold on to it as long as possible. Once you have recognized your condition, let it expand. Imagine this condition is expanding, and everyone present in this program is benefiting from my condition. Imagine it in this way. Feel this condition expanding, and everyone in your house is benefiting from this condition. The condition of your house itself is changing due to this newly acquired condition. Let it keep expanding. The community, your society is all benefiting from your condition. This condition is expanding. Become one with this condition. Become peace incarnate as though. If you're feeling peaceful, you're so united with this condition as though you have become peace incarnate yourself. Now you can gently open your eyes. If there are any questions, we can take it now. We have only 3 minutes left though, but I'm open to take questions. How does each area of the brain know what function it is supposed to perform? The brain is designed, it is in such a way. Nobody knows which area, why this particular area is working the way it works. We just become aware of it because we are now using advanced techniques like functional MRIs, and they use different colors when we are making decisions. So, and our brain is put in functional MRI, this front area lights up. So we know that this area is making decisions. Why this area is making decision, nobody knows. So this back area where all our whatever we see is processed. So when we see this is more active, this we can see through functional MRI. Why that only area is only processing what we see, nobody knows that. So second question is, how the nervous system is the body's fast information center. Body's fast information center. I am not sure if I understand the question here. Okay, third question is, how can consciousness be defined? Now, very simply put, consciousness can be defined as your degree of awareness. So, if you are listening to me, you are understanding what I am saying because you are concentrating on what I am speaking. right? So your awareness is very constricted. Your awareness is totally focused on what I'm speaking. So you are concentrating hard. But when we meditate, we are told not to concentrate. And as we start meditation, and since we are told not to concentrate, what happens? Our awareness immediately expands. And then in this expanded awareness, we become aware of what is happening around us. Maybe we will now notice that somebody in the adjacent room is speaking, or the dog is barking outside, or all these things start coming in our awareness, but then we are told to ignore them. So we start trying to go within. Inside, we have become aware of the thoughts arising inside us. We are becoming aware of them. We are told to ignore them also. So we go further inside and we are becoming aware of the feelings residing in our heart. So basically, meditation is all about increasing our consciousness, and consciousness can be defined as the degree of awareness. And through meditation, we try to expand our awareness and then try to hold on to this expanded awareness as long as possible. Okay, last question. What, if anything, is the function of consciousness? I think this was also covered in the previous question that I answered. So I guess we can conclude this session.
We are thankful to Mr. Sulabh Mishra for deliberating on the various aspects of neuroscience of communications. And he has deliberated on various aspects whenever we are talking about the neuroscience. And that one is also how we communicate with the aid of neuroscience. So that we are also thankful to our experts, Dr. Pradeep Gupta, Mr. Deepak Khanduri, Dr. Rajiv Gupta, for their continuous guidance and mentoring on these various aspects of work-life balance. So that with this, I am once again thankful to our participants who have joined this virtual program on work-life balance. Last but not least, we are thankful to our today's resource person, Mr. Sulabh Mishra, for highlighting on the various aspects of work-life balance. With this, we conclude the today's session. Thank you to all. We'll join tomorrow's session at 8:30 p.m. with Mr. Sulabh Mishra once again on tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks to all.